The Lakers are going to have a good run this season, but if they are going to be able to win that NBA championship, it is going to really come down to 3 players. Who are those players? Make sure to stay tuned. You're watching NBA Now by Chat Sports, all things Lakers. I'm Hannah Kulik, aka Laker Han. Now, as we all know, since Kobe Bryant retired, the Lakers have been desperately trying and failing to bring another star to LA. But now, not only do we have one, but we have 2 of the best players in the NBA. We have 2 superstars in LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And for the first time in a pretty darn long time, at least in 6-10 years maybe even, the Lakers are finally back into contention to actually win the NBA championship. Now, while obviously having Anthony Davis and LeBron James is going to greatly help us win that title, it still is not the only thing we need. We are going to need the entire team to come together. We are going to need everyone to do their part. And in particular, we are going to need 3 players on this team to really step up and kind of be the X factors if the Lakers are going to want to win the title this year. Now, who are these players? Who are these 3 X factors? Let's get into it. But before we do, make sure you are subscribed down below here on Chat Sports and the new Chat Sports Lakers YouTube channel so you don't miss a single thing that has to do with Lakers. You guys, this season's going to be amazing. There's going to be so much happening. Make sure you are subscribed down below so you do not miss a single second of it. Now, starting with our X Factor number 3 today, we have DeMarcus Cousins. Now, DeMarcus Cousins, in my opinion, is a guy that I think is going to have a tremendous season, and he is going to have to if the Lakers are going to want to go far. Now, a lot of people are forgetting that 2 years ago, Boogie was actually an NBA All-Star. He was really on the rise. He was one of the best dominant players in the league, all before tearing his Achilles. And before that, he was averaging, 25 points per game, 12, 13 rebounds per game. He was really balling out, but of course, tearing that Achilles, it's a very serious injury. He took a year to recover from that, came back, ended up signing with the Golden State Warriors, kind of got off to a slow start, but was really starting to play much better towards the second half of the season and in the beginning of the playoffs before he injured his quad in the playoffs this past year. So that kind of put a damper on Boogie's comeback. But you guys, if DeMarcus Cousins can get back to at least 75, maybe even, 80% of the player that he was before he tore his Achilles, he is going to be a huge help to this Lakers squad. And I know a lot of people were disappointed that the Lakers didn't get their 3rd star, but if DeMarcus Cousins can get back to at least a part of his former self, at least 75-80%, then I truly feel that we do have our 3rd star in DeMarcus Cousins. And also the fact that the Lakers were able to sign him for a 1-year deal, pretty much for a bag of Doritos. Like, we pretty much got DeMarcus Cousins for absolutely nothing. He is probably the best Lakers signing that they signed this offseason, this free agency. Another great thing with DeMarcus Cousins, and the reason why I believe he is going to fit so well with this team, that he has the potential at least to have a big season, is because he has not only played with Anthony Davis in New Orleans, but he's also played with Rajon Rondo back when he was a New Orleans Pelican. So he already has experience playing with those 2 players. I know DeMarcus is also known for being a little bit of a hothead, but because he has a good relationship with Anthony Davis and Rajon Rondo, and of course we have LeBron James, who is, one of the best players, if not the best player to ever play basketball, on our team, they are going to all be able to keep him kind of level-headed. Now, Boogie knows that this season is extremely important for him. It is really make or break from him. He went from a player who was dominating the league to a guy who's just desperately fighting to stay in the league. And in the recent interviews I've seen with Boogie, he looks like he is in shape, he is fit, he is ready to have an unbelievable season, and he is taking it extremely seriously. Now, I personally think that Boogie is about to ball out this season and really get back to his former self, but I am curious, do you guys think that DeMarcus Cousins can get back to his previous NBA All-Star self? If you do, type Y down below. If not, type N down below. Now let's talk about 2 of these other players. Before we do, if you guys like sports betting and you want to win a free NBA jersey of your choice, any player, any team, DM me right now on my Instagram at Hannah Rose Kulik and or my Twitter at Hannah_Kulik, and I will let you know how you will be able to do so. You guys, I am so grateful for one of our sponsors here at Chat Sports allowing me to do this and give you guys the opportunity to get a free NBA jersey. I've already given away so many, so make sure you DM me right now to find out how you can win one so that you are decked out in your favorite sports gear before the season starts. Now let's get to our second X Factor today. Our second X Factor today, we have Avery Bradley. Now Avery Bradley was a guy that I was really excited to see the Lakers pick up this summer during free agency. They used their mid-level exception on him. He's only 28 years old, but he's had kind of an interesting career so far. He played 7 years for the Boston Celtics, where he really played well for them, and he was, having a really successful career. But the last couple of years, he's really struggled with injuries. He's bounced around this league. He's played with 4 different teams these last 2 years. But the second half of the last season, when he was finally healthy, he really did play well for Memphis. We saw him kind of return to that former player that he was for the Boston Celtics a few years ago. He was averaging 16.1 points for them and also shooting 38.3% from three-point range. So I'm hoping this season Avery will just continue to be able to do that. Apparently he is 100% healthy, and if he is healthy, I really do think he is going to be the Lakers' secret threat this season. I also think that there is a big possibility we may actually see him be that starting point guard for us. I know I talked about this in a previous video, but Avery Bradley at that starting point guard position actually, in my opinion, looks like it could be the Lakers' best option, because we have Avery Bradley, who's only 6'2". He can play the point guard or shooting guard, but he typically mainly plays more of that shooting guard purely because he is not much of a playmaker. He's more of a shooter, but we wouldn't need him to be a playmaker, really even handle the ball all too much, because we would also have LeBron James in that starting lineup as well, where LeBron could just be the de facto point guard that he likes to do, that he's been doing throughout his entire career, be the main ball handler, be the playmaker for this team. So we wouldn't really even need Avery Bradley to do that. We would just need him to be able to score and then play defense. And if we had Avery Bradley as our starting point guard, he would then be able to guard the other team's elite point guards in the leagues. He would be able to guard the Steph Currys, the Damian Lillard, whereas if LeBron is the starting point guard, there are still those question marks as to who would be able to guard the other team's quicker, faster point guards, because that probably wouldn't be the best thing for LeBron to do, and it just wouldn't be the best for us defensively. But having Avery Bradley, a tenacious defender, a guy who really is known for not only his three-point shooting, but really for his defense, in that starting lineup to guard that other team's starting point guard would be the perfect scenario, in my opinion, for the Lakers. Also, just to be able to see Avery Bradley in the backcourt with Danny Green, I think that would be really exciting to see. Both of those guys are tremendous 3-and-D players, the kind of guys that the Lakers have really needed for a long time, but they haven't really been able to get. And now finally we have not only one but 2 of them. So I am really looking forward to seeing Avery Bradley play this season, because I have a good feeling about him. I know that he knows it really is now or never for him. He's struggled these last couple of years, but a lot is riding on this season, and I know he is going to take full advantage of it. So I'm super excited to see, and I think Avery Bradley could really be the secret threat to the Lakers season this year. But I'm curious, who would you rather have play the Lakers point guard, be that Lakers starting point guard this season? Would you rather have Avery Bradley or LeBron James? If you would rather have Avery, type A down below, or if you would rather have LeBron, type L down below. Now let's move on to our number 1 X Factor day. But before we do, I want to take a quick second to make sure that you are following me on my social medias. Make sure you are following me on my Instagram at Hannah Rose Kulik and my Twitter at Hannah_Kulik for all things Lakers, and also fitness. I love to post workout videos and fitness tips on my Instagram as well. So make sure to give me a follow on all of those. But let's move on to our number 1 X Factor today. I think you guys may be able to figure out who it is, but coming in as our number 1 X Factor, the key to the Lakers winning the NBA championship this season, it is Kyle Kuzma. Now, Kyle Kuzma's career with the purple and gold has been straight out of a fairy tale. You guys, it is literally a movie, okay? This kid went from a no one knew who he was, fans were extremely confused and upset when the Lakers drafted him, to suddenly a guy who is not only looking like he is ending up being one of the best players, if not the best player from that entire rookie class, but also a guy who is looking like he could be the next Lakers star. It's pretty crazy when you look back on all of the players that the Lakers drafted these last few years. Julius Randle, D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, all of these guys that the Lakers swore were the next faces of the franchise, the key to their rebuilding phase. None of those guys are there, but the one guy who, you know, never really had any high expectations for is still here. And not only is he still here, but he is looking like he is actually going to be the next Lakers star if he continues playing his cards right and keeps improving in the way that I know and I believe that he will. Now, Kyle Kuzma has had a really successful career with the purple and gold, obviously, and he is going into this year really being the Lakers' third option. The Lakers have a lot of hopes for him, and I know he knows that this year really is a make or break season for him. It is a season that could make him a full-blown star, or it could really tarnish his career and really kind of just diminish everything and really everything that he has worked so hard to gain these last couple of years. Now, Kyle Kuzma, if there's one thing we know about him, we know that he lives and breathes basketball. So I never question his work ethic. We know he is one of the hardest workers in the league. We know that every summer he works with the best of the best in whatever he needs to improve on, whether that's getting stronger. Then he goes and works with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, or this summer he needs to work on his shooting, so he's working with Lethal Shooter, and Lethal Shooter's already come out and said that Kuz has one of the best work ethics that he has ever seen. So I never question Kuzma's work ethic ability. I know he's working extremely hard. Now, two keys to Kuzma's season, two things that he really needs to work on this summer in order to be able to have that big jump this next year is his three-point shooting. We saw for his rookie season that actually being one of the biggest things that was the biggest pleasant surprise with his game was the fact that he was actually a pretty decent three-point shooter. He shot 36% from three his rookie season, but last year we saw that number dip down to 30%, which is just not going to get the job done. For a guy like Kuz, he's got to be shooting at least 36, even higher percent from three. And then of course his defense, but I know Kuz knows that, and I know he's working extremely hard on that. Now, something else to talk about with Kyle Kuzma and his whole X Factor status here is a little bit of a question to what role he is going to play. In the beginning, I always thought Kuz is definitely going to be a starter, okay? There was no reason that the Lakers got rid of Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, three guys who could potentially have been starters this year just to have Kuz come off the bench. There's no way they're going to be advertising Kyle Kuzma as, you know, the face of their franchise, having him do all these media tours and, you know, represent us at the draft lottery and, you know, go to China and be the ambassador for the Lakers program over there, only to have him come off the bench and not really have that big of a role with the team. But now it is starting to look like Kuz actually may have that X Factor status coming off the bench, because if he is inserted into that starting lineup, you guys, he's going to be in a lineup that also is going to feature LeBron James, Anthony Davis, most likely DeMarcus Cousins, Danny Green. He may be overshadowed, but if he's able to come off the bench and really be that sixth man, he may have a better opportunity overall and really get a chance to shine and not really be overshadowed by some of the star power that's going to be in our lineup. But at the end of the day, you guys, I know Kyle Kuzma is going to have a really big season for us. I know he knows so much is riding on him this year, and if there's one thing I can say about Kyle Kuzma, it's that he performs extremely well under pressure. We already saw that when he was MVP of the Rising Stars game this past NBA All-Star weekend. We've always seen him really step up in the fourth quarter in the clutch. You guys, this guy likes being put under pressure. He excels at it, and that's when we really see the real Kyle Kuzma come out. So I'm excited for Kuz this season. I think it's going to be a big year for him, but I am curious, out of all of these three guys that I mentioned, we talked about DeMarcus Cousins, Avery Bradley, Kyle Kuzma, which one of these players do you think is really going to be the key to the Lakers season? Comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe here on Chat Sports and the new Chat Sports Lakers YouTube channel. Also don't forget to give this video a double thumbs up if you did like it. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And until next time, Laker Hand is out. Bye guys.